Greetings, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope everybody's been well. I wasn't able to post a video last Sunday because I was working straight through the weekend, so I'm here today getting some footage together, and we have something special today that I would like to show you guys and introduce. I bought a new daily. To all of you guys that know me and hang out with me, yes, I bought a daily, and I put a big smile on my face when I knew that you guys were happy about what I bought. I recently just picked up this beautiful 1990 Civic hatch. It's a one-owner car, and I got really lucky with the purchase. This side has some damage as far as the door. Right here it's dented in, and I took the molding off. I have it, it's actually in the car. I took the molding off so I could see how bad the dent was, so I could maybe see about popping it out, but this is the only spot on the car that's like really bad. Here in the fender, that's the worst parts on the car, but there's no rust on this car. I checked under it, there's no rust at all. Super clean. It's got some blemishes here and there, but overall it's a really clean car. Taillight is cracked, but I do have an extra taillight for this car, thank God. Still has all the original badging on it. This car did have a lot of reflectors on it. I'm guessing the original owner used it a lot on the highway. But she's super clean, so this is going to be the new daily, and I'm very excited about working on it and doing things to it. It hasn't been on the road since 2001. I did drive it back from where I bought it, and it did drive fine. It does obviously need a few things like a tune-up and all that. I put my OEM CRX SI wheels on it for now, just to give it a better ride and somewhat of a better look, but it did come with the 13-inch OEM steelies that all the standard hatches come on. But the car drives really good. It's got a brand new gas tank, brand new fuel pump. Let me see if I could show you guys. It does need a muffler. You'll probably see how bad the muffler is. Yeah, see, it's all torn up, but brand new gas tank, fuel pump. Starts right up. I'll start it for you guys. The interior is super clean. I feel like nobody even sat in this car. It's like one of those things where you sit in the seat and you expect the driver's seat to be all worn down, but this thing is in such good shape and it's so comfortable. And these headrests, I've never seen headrests like these before, but I've only owned 2 other hatches, but they had the typical EF headrest, if anyone knows what I'm talking about. So this is the standard model. It doesn't have any type of fabric on the door panels. It's very basic. 116,000 miles. Pretty much, yeah, this is it. Has an aftermarket radio that I don't even know if it works, but I actually bought a radio for it. Doesn't come with a clock, but does have AC. And it does work. I was so surprised myself. As far as anything else, the interior is really put together. Here's the molding for that door. So I gotta get that dent straightened out, and then I can put the molding back on. I had to buy the extra clips for it. I had to buy, this side is missing the clip to hold on to the window crank, so that's on the way. But yeah, the interior is really clean. I like the blue. I've always been a fan of this color, and it's kind of funny. The wagon was similar. It was a similar color. It wasn't the exact same color, but it was similar. And it just so happens I found a hatch in the same color, which I thought was pretty cool. One of the nicest things about this, which I thought was so rare and so awesome to find, is that it actually still has the privacy cover on it, which is so cool to find on these cars because you never see it on the hatches. They're usually always torn up or missing, or you don't even know they exist. Didn't come with the rear speaker pods, but I can always get something later on. But overall, she's really clean. I'm really happy with the purchase. So, a little history about this car. It's a one-owner car from Jersey, and I did not buy it off of the actual original owner. Someone had bought this car, I guess, when they saw it, or they saw it in the driveway, and they must have got an idea as to maybe flip it or start a project on it, but the person that I bought it off of was the actual person who bought off the original owner, but he never registered the car. So he had it sat in his driveway for a year or two. I'm not sure how long, but didn't really do anything to it, but just, I don't think it was running, and he got it running with the gas tank and the fuel pump. So now the car's running. It runs really good. I don't really have any maintenance records as far as like timing belt change, you know, stuff like that. So I don't know exactly when that's done, and I'm going to say at around 116. Probably hasn't been done, knowing that the car's been sitting for so long, and I'm not going to take that chance knowing that these are interfering motors. So I bought a few parts for it already, and I'm going to be tuning this thing up because this is going to be my daily. I don't really want to drive the CRX every day, especially in the winter, and this is going to be a very comfortable daily for me since it's got room, it's got back seats if I need them, and it's pretty stylish. I love these cars. Like I said, these are great commuter cars, and this is my chassis of choice with these Hondas. I love the 88 to 91 style cars. So just really excited about showing you guys the daily. I got a bunch of parts for it, but let me just start it up to show you how nice and smooth it runs. So yeah, it's got that little Honda rumble because the muffler's all rusted out, but she idles perfect. No crazy noises. All original. So what do you guys think? I think this is going to be a cool little project. I think eventually down the line I am going to make this a swap candidate for my collection. I like how original it is, but the fact that it's just so clean and everything's pretty much there. Very satisfied. It's got these crazy little rear mud flaps that I guess somebody cut in with metal, which is actually pretty cool. It's pretty handy. So I went ahead and I bought some things for the hatch that I knew I was going to need. This was a quick release that I thought was pretty cool. Usually I won't do I'm not really a big fan of the glitter flakes and stuff like that, but I don't know, I feel like I just like this one, and I thought it was pretty cool. It's gonna look pretty sweet in here. A lot smaller than obviously the original wheel, but I really got these quick releases for security because you can take the wheel off. Also got the lock for it, so I can lock the hub so another wheel won't go on, so I'm going to be putting this on today. Got a set of genuine Honda locks that I'm not sure what I'm going to do with because the CRX has locks on it, and I do have another set, so the only thing about these locks is you can't keep the center caps on, so it's kind of a bummer, but obviously security is more important to me. Here's that other taillight that I was going to swap over eventually. It's a lot cleaner, and it doesn't have any of the blemishes or scratches. Not the cleanest, obviously, but a lot better than what I have on there. So I'm going to get that swapped over, make sure all the lights are working. Another thing I'm going to be adding to the hatch is a nice radio from Pioneer. Got a nice little DEH S600. 6000, sorry, excuse me. So it's the auxiliary, all that, the Bluetooth. It's got dual iPhone or regular phone connections. Got outlets for the subs, all that, remote. So I had this radio in the wagon, and I do have it in the CRX at the moment, and it is a great radio. I got the adapter just so I don't have to cut the original harness. I can just plug it in and splice. Excuse me. This is the timing belt kit and water pump kit that I'm going to be using from Gates. I've used these products before, and Gates does, they make perfectly fine timing belts and all that, so that's very important. This is actually one of the first things I want to do because obviously, the timing belt is what keeps everything together on the motor. Going to flush out the system and do an oil change so we have some fresh fluids. And then next week I was interested in getting all new brake pads, brake rotors, and actually doing the drums as well, because obviously this car's been sitting a while and stopping is the most important thing right now since it runs good. So got some plugs and wires coming for it as well. I have an air filter coming, fuel filter. Trying to think what else. I got a wire in this headlight. The clip actually corroded off, so I have another clip, but only one headlight is working for now. But that's nothing too serious. So these are the parts I have, and I'm going to be slowly putting these on throughout the next 2 days. So bear with me, because it might take me a little longer than usual, just because I've been very busy lately. But I wanted to get out and show you guys the new project, the new daily. Tell me what you guys think. I know it's not a wagon, it's not a sedan, but it's exactly what I need right now. And I think it's perfect the way it is, just with some regular maintenance and tuning. Oh, I have a red center garnish that I might be switching this over to, because I don't know how well this other stuff's going to come out, and the red one's actually in a lot better shape. I do actually like the red a lot. The center garnish, it looks really nice on these. Alright guys, I got the NRG wheel on and mounted, so it is fully functioning. I know it looks a little ridiculous with the sparkles, but I don't know why I like it. I think it looks pretty cool in the hatch. Another reason that I got such a small wheel, I believe this is a 31mm and the CRX one is a 34. The standard hatches, or the STD hatches, did not have an adjustable steering column height, so if you're just a bigger person and you need a lot of leg room, or your knees sit really high, the wheel would sit a little low. I mean, you'd have to really position your seat, but this just gives it a little more clearance and comfortability to daily drive. So I think that going with the smaller wheel is going to make it a nicer drive, just the fact that I can have leg room and stuff like that. So this is how it looks now. I'm pretty happy with it. The horn works, so really satisfied. Energy does make good things. I've never really had an issue with them. So wheels on, and I think the next thing I'm going to tackle is taking out this ridiculous radio. I got the center console out, and I got most of the old radio harness removed. It was pretty hacked up, not going to lie. A lot of things were spliced into one another, but the main thing that is good is that the original connector for the radio is not cut, and the reason I buy these connectors is because they are color coded to fit newer style wire connectors for the newer radios. And once you cut this off and you just splice wire to wire, it's not that it won't work. I just think it looks really crappy when you remove the radio, and it's nicer when you have crimpers, and you can do it the right way in case you wanted to put anything back to stock. So this is why it's good to have these adapter harnesses, so you can literally plug it in and then splice away to whatever connectors you got to connect. That way you don't have to cut the original. So gonna throw this in, got everything removed. This was all the stuff that came out, and this is basically why you buy these adapters, so you can do this into the harness that the radio comes with. So let's get this radio wired up. I got some old speakers that I'm going to throw into the doors, because I know these speakers are probably pretty shitty. I tried to mess with the radio before I took it out, and it barely makes any sound, but I'm going to pop these off, and I got some JVCs I'll throw in there, and just to give it a little kick and a little sound, so I can have some music while I'm driving. So I have the wiring loom pretty much wired up to the radio harness. This is why I recommend highly getting an adapter, because it's pretty much color match. You can just splice and wire it right up without having to look up which wire goes to where. So I'm going to plug this radio in, see if we got illumination power. I know I'm only going to be playing it from the front two speakers, but some of my phone's ringing. So I just want to test it out, see if it works, see if everything is correct, and move on to the timing belt. So we got a working radio. Just asking me to set the time. It is 2:15. Oh, whoops, don't want to call Blair. 215. Okay. So we are in business with a radio. Unfortunately, the previous people who put this center console together, they cracked it while they were taking it out, so I am going to have to source out a new center console because this one's really tore up. There's really no sense in putting it back in when I'm going to have to take it back out, so just going to kind of leave it like this since I'm not really driving the car right now. But I do have a radio, we do have the quick release on, and just wanted to get some of those things done before I tackle on the timing belt.
Didn't last forever. Now you in the corner trying to put it together. How to love, how to love. For a second you were here, now you over there. It's all next.
Success. Alright guys, so I got most of the miscellaneous things done. Still got to check out this headlight just to get that wired up so that the light is working. I'm going to start tackling this timing belt. This isn't going to be a how-to on how to do a timing belt because I don't really have the time. I'm just going to kind of fast forward and give you a quick overview. Basically, the valve cover has to come off, the wires got to come out, all these timing covers have to come off, and your AC bracket along with your, I believe your alternator bracket, because the whole pulley has to come off. What you want to do is you want to take a block of wood and support the oil pan, so that way you can take this motor mount off to gain easier access to the panels. So I'm going to set the camera up and just kind of let it film and do like a little fast progression through this. I don't really have much time, so I'm going to try to bang this out as soon as I can. I didn't do a time lapse because I just kind of wanted to bang it out and didn't want the pressure of the camera recording me. So guys, here we are. I got all the timing pieces off as far as the cover. I got the alternator belt removed. I got the AC bracket and belt removed. You don't have to take the AC off per se, but you do have to take the tensioner that does tension the belt so you can get to some of the plastic hardware bolts. So the belt doesn't even look that bad, but you know what? Me being one of those people that I don't like to take the chance and let's just say, oh, you know, the belt looks good, I'm just going to keep driving with it, and then, you know, one day, snap, the engine dies, and then all of a sudden your valves are bent. So really didn't want to take that chance, even though the water pump and the belt don't look too bad. So I jumped into it. Not really too tedious as far as like, if you want to attempt this yourself, I wouldn't recommend doing this if this is your first time. I would definitely say have somebody with you to help in case you get stuck. I want to show you guys a little underneath. That is where the crank pulley would be, and all the timing covers are removed. So I do have the motor timed currently. So right now I'm going to slip off the old belt, pop out the water pump, drain pretty much 80% of the antifreeze, and just start putting all the new parts in, the tensioner and all that stuff. So hopefully I can get this done today. I don't want to leave it, you know, looking like this. So bear with me. I'm just kind of doing this in stages, just showing you where I'm at. So yeah, guys, not too hard of a job, but definitely important if you're picking up a car. Don't trust anyone saying the timing belt's been done unless they have proof, because that will cost you a lot of money in the end. Okay, so I got the belt removed. It is the original belt, I'm assuming, unless this car was brought to the dealership anytime recently, which I know it wasn't. So this is the original setup as far as water pump and timing belt. I know this because they don't actually have these timing belts like this anymore. This is a real old one. But one of the water pump bolts is missing, but I can easily find a spare. Kind of glad that I chose to do this now because I just didn't want to risk anything happening to the car when I start to drive it. So this is just going to give me, you know, reassurance that I can drive it, it's safe, the timing belt is done. So I'll be swapping out these tension pulleys and water pump, and I'll be getting everything back together. Okay guys, I just wanted to show you that the timing belt is on, the new tensioner is on, the new water pump is on. There's a little bit of a trick that you have to know to get these timing belts timed. If anyone is going to attempt themselves to do their own timing belt, if you notice on the cam gear, there's the word up, and there's going to be two lines. There's going to be one on your right and one on your left. You want these lines to correspond as up and left and right, meaning you want to get them as even to the top of the head as possible. Now, with those lined up, you're going to come down here. Let me get a light real quick. If you notice, there is a little mark in the crank wheel that has to line up with an arrow. You can't see the arrow, but it's blocked by the timing belt. Basically, you have to line up these marks with these marks, and once you tension the belt, it might pull the marks off a little bit. So what you have to do is basically before you tension the belt, you wanna like align it off just a little bit, so that way when you do tension it, it lines it up perfect. It's a little tedious, but Honda timing belts are actually pretty easy. There's not much to them, and I think once you do your first one, they're pretty much all the same as far as timing marks. You can't really mess them up unless you really mess up the timing, you'll notice. So I'm going to start throwing everything back together. I just want to show you guys the progress with the timing belt. It took me a little longer than usual just because I wanted to make sure that I was on the money with it. But I leaked a little antifreeze everywhere. But I'm gonna clean up, get the covers back on, get the crank pulley on, get the valve cover on, and start this thing up. All right, my fellow EF enthusiast. She's all put back together. Timing covers on. All the mounts are all tied in. AC's all linked in. Alternators all linked in. Valve covers on, obviously. I got the oil in. I just topped it off with some antifreeze. You know what's crazy? When I took the water pump out, I don't even know what was in there. It was like rust water because barely anything came out. I don't even know how this thing wasn't even overheating, but thank God it wasn't. Loaded it up with some coolant, and I'm about to start it. So let's see if this thing wants to crank over, and hopefully it's on time, right? I think I did the timing right. She started it up. Gotta fix that exhaust leak, but timing is done. Alright guys, today was just to show the hatch, give you guys an update on my daily. I hope you guys enjoyed the hatch. I hope you guys are ready for more updates. I'm really excited about this car. I haven't had a hatch in a while, and I really haven't had something to be excited about in a while besides my CRXs. But this is definitely going to be fun, and I'm not sure exactly what my plans are. You know, the motor's really healthy. It's only got 116,000 miles. Timing's done and all that. I was thinking about putting the stock D16A6 old CRX SI motor in there. Maybe change a few gasket seals, you know, tune it up, clean it up. Because those motors are really good for dailying. And that tranny is a 5-speed, which gives it a little more pep. But overall, I really like this car. I hope you guys are excited about it. I'm going to be doing a few more things on it before I could daily drive it or whatever. I didn't really get to do as much as I wanted to do today because I did work on the other CRX. I just didn't film anything. But still got to do the headlight. I got brakes coming. I want to change the brake fluid. I got to do spark plugs, wires. I wanted to get the timing done just because, you know, that was like the bulk of it. But now it's just going to be like miscellaneous things. Like the radio's done, but as you guys know, I need that center console piece. But I do look forward to driving this car. It's going to be a really nice daily with the AC. So I hope you guys are excited about it. I'm very excited about it. But that's a wrap for today's video. Stay tuned for more updates, and subscribe and like, and always stay true to EFs.